So most people know Eckhart Tolle as this inspirational spiritual leader. But what most people don't know is that he went through a really difficult time at his Saturn return, which is really what prompted this spiritual awakening, which led to this wisdom that he seemed to birth after that. So I'll just read a little passage to set the scene with his chart. So in 1977, at the age of 29, Eckhart Tolle went through a significant spiritual transformation. He had been struggling with prolonged periods of depression, and one night he experienced an inner awakening that changed the course of his life. Suffering from overwhelming feelings of depression, he questioned the nature of the I that couldn't coexist with the self. This introspection led to a breakthrough realization. The mind-made self, burdened with its problems and anchored between an unsatisfying past and a fearful future, dissolved. The following morning, he awoke to a state of peace, devoid of the self and marked by a sense of presence and observation. So you and I have obviously talked about this, and any astrologer will immediately pick up on the fact that at age 29, he's going through his Saturn return. And he happened to have this in 1977, which is the same year that Chiron is discovered. So I think both of us felt that this was a really significant chart from that point of view, because we don't know exactly when he had the spiritual awakening. We've chosen a chart that's got transits for August of 1977. And obviously in his natal chart, some of the significant things that we'll notice weaving through all the charts is, first of all, he has the sun in Aquarius, and then he's got this Saturn-Pluto conjunction in his chart in Leo, because he was born around about the time of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in 1947, 1948. So he has that actually in his chart, and it's opposite his sun. So you've got this Aquarius-Leo opposition, this polarity, and then he's got natal Chariklo in Sagittarius, and the Chariklo discovery chart has Sagittarius rising. So it's a really interesting chart.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what stands out, of course, is not only his Saturn return, but also with the fact that you've got Sun there conjunct Pluto as well.
Yes.
There's something really moving here. And I find it really fascinating, actually, that it's on the IC. And I did just sort of look to see, what's going on here? What's this kind of...
Gosh, yes, it is. I didn't notice that because of the way that my chart setup is.
Yeah.
But you're quite right. Yes.
It's right on.
Yes.
So it's, for me, I was like, wow, what is instigated from childhood here? What is coming up? I just think, especially with Leo, we're looking at inner child work here. And, it's what is here in which he is shunting, or what culture was he grown up in, that he is rebelling against for this, spiritual awakening to happen. And I know he, grew up in a household that was not super happy. It was kind of disruptive and quite traumatic for him, with parents fighting. And
yes,
but then he went to Cambridge, of course, to study. And I wonder, when you get sometimes to the Saturn return, this is when it all comes out, right? He talks about this feeling of being unbearable. And everything is coming up here. I mean, we're really sort of like, Chiron is being activated. We're having this intense moment.
In the final episode of this series, which will be made available to Apple Podcast and Astro-Insights blog subscribers in December, Sarah and I take an in-depth look at the charts of several well-known people who we feel embody the Chiron and Chariklo dynamic. Join us as we consider how repeating themes relating to these centaurs, including the Saturn-Pluto conjunctions, Star of David aspect patterns, Leo-Aquarius axis, and the Saturn-Uranus dynamic, all play out through the individual astrology charts, creating personal narratives that are both revealing and healing. Could these case studies hold clues as to how we can gracefully navigate the difficult and challenging times we currently live in, post-COVID?